Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button because you're going to find a ton of valuable videos on this channel. Now, if you've ever gone through a renovation or thinking about going through a renovation, you're going to want to watch this video. In this first video here, I explained how I took this property from this state here to this state here in just 3 short months. And also all of the issues I found with the property along the way. Destroyed floorboards, destroyed support beams in the property. Plastering took a lot more money than I expected. And effectively, I'm at this point now where I have to then save money and get it out of other parts of the project to actually make this a profitable project. So I go into it in detail in this video. Check it out. I'm sure you're going to love it. Hit that subscribe button. Let's start with the kitchen. The property that I live in, granted, we wanted the best materials, the best German manufactured oven, fridge, dishwasher, etc. So we ended up spending probably around £17,000 on our kitchen renovation at home. And I thought for this renovation, I'd probably end up spending around about £8,000 or so. Now, I had to get really creative. And what I actually did is I'll probably have to do a whole separate video on how I actually negotiated down the price of my kitchen from manufacturers like Howden's, Magnet, Wren's Kitchens or IKEA, and negotiated it down to the bare bones and got it from a quote of around about £7,000 to roughly around £4,000. Right, so that was a huge saving in and of itself. So that kind of covered the majority of the floor, just basically negotiating the cost of that. The kitchen units were about, I think they roughly cost me about 3,600, and then the countertop cost me around about 400 or so. The labor for it was about £2,000, and then the tiling was 325. So the total all-in cost for my kitchen was £6,325. Now that was a lot less than I actually expected it to be. I was expecting it to be somewhere around £8,000 to £9,000. And then another big item for us as well was the bathroom. So we actually managed to get all of our bathroom materials for this property for £1,000. Just to give you an idea, our vanity unit in our home cost £1,000. The installing all of those items actually ended up costing me £2,850. So the labor, the bathroom floor, wall tiles, adhesive cost me £725. So the overall cost of the bathroom was £5,675 for the bathroom. Again, I was expecting it to be a lot more than that, but that's how much it costs. And we've kind of gone through a lot of the large items that we used that I had to spend on this renovation. There were a couple of other things as well. I should have mentioned before. The carpets cost $750. I was expecting that to cost around £1,000 to £1,500. I spent about £1,900 on the boiler. I needed to put up the fencing, so that cost me about $2,200 because the fencing was kind of sloped and it just didn't look good. That cost me about £2,200. And then also I had a redundant window at one point because I moved rooms around a bit that I didn't really need. It looked weird and I wanted it to be bricked up. The bricks cost me $220 for like aged bricks, and the labor cost me £300. So all in all, the renovation cost me $39,769. Now, if you add that to the actual closing costs, so we'll add our legals and our stamp duty. So the total renovation for this flat cost me $50,319. So let's just call it £51,000 in total renovations for the property. So let's actually look at the numbers, right? So we bought the flat for £375,000. The total renovation and legals and basically outlaid costs that I'm not going to be able to get back cost me 50,319. So if you were to add 50,000, so let's call it 51,000, as I said before, plus the 375,000 that the apartment cost, it brings me to a total cost in that flat, so all in all, of 425,000. Let's just call it £426,000. So, as I mentioned before, I'm pretty confident that that property can sell for somewhere around 500,000. So we're talking about, £75,000 or so of profit in that property that I've made through this renovation. That's how I took a flat from 375,000 to £500,000 and made somewhere between £60,000 to £70,000 along the way.